Next up is the beginning of last night's AEW Dynamite Roundtable, which featured Konnan, Disco, myself, and Patreon members Harry Ruiz, Carlos Hernandez, Stephen Burton, and Vlad, discussing the Best Friends versus Santana and Ortiz, Matt Hardy, Moxley, MJF, and more. There's another hour to this show review on the Patreon site at patreon.com/Konnan and Konnan.me.
What do you think of the first match, you guys?
So I thought it was going to be a clusterfuck, and at the end of the day, I thought it was a lot going on, but at the same time, it seemed it had a good flow to it. So I actually enjoyed this first match, and it had a lot of different storylines intertwining each other. So I really enjoyed it. I was shocked with Adam Page taking the pin though against Brody Lee.
I missed it though. So what stories did they advance in it?
Well, I'll explain this because I want to go back to a few.
Good question, Joe. Because I have no idea what they.
Let me because here's what they do. Here's what they do. They tell stories in the ring, but to me they do kind of like a lot of details that they try to make look like a shoot, but the ring work doesn't match like they're shooting out there. You know what I'm saying? So like perfect example. They did like this really detailed the night that what's their names made their debut, the FTR. Okay, they did a spot where, like, I guess one of the kids like hurt. They did this again this week. Okay, they did the spot where the kid like hurts his knee. Matt Hardy, who was actually on the other team, like trying to make it like a shoot. Oh, the guy got hurt. He's actually helping him to the back to set up because to set us out to shoot. So we have to get these guys out of the way to open the door because FTR comes in like the blade and they do things like that to try like. We're doing like a shoot spot in here, and we're doing it really detailed. So this is what they did on this show. They did the exact same thing with FTR. He hurts his knee, and I guarantee you the story they want to tell is it's like so he hurts his knee and they go to the back, but Cole and the FTR guy they all leave the Bucks.
Hangman took him to the back.
And Hangman that's a man.
Oh yeah,
Hangman and FTR. The other kid, they take him to the back because they've been hanging out and drinking, and they disappear for a while.
Up something.
Nice.
So they disappear, which lets the other guys like get the advantage and stuff and everything. But but the thing is like, it's not to me. That's not subtle. The announcers are trying to say, I'm looking at this and going, okay, I know the angle they're doing here, but you're making the baby faces look really dumb because like nobody would just like the way they set up, they go to the back and like I don't know, and then if they think they're like gonna cut. You guys cost us this match because you left and stuff and anything. To me, that's not. I don't even
feel like they got that across because freaking Hangman Page came out and wrestled another 5 minutes instead of I feel like they should have got beat when Hangman and what's his name brought the other
came
one
back for they were beating me a hot tag and he come in and then they doubled but it was you're right that he came back.
He had the whole comeback. He stopped the match, threw the guy in the corner.
Perfect.
Like Brody come in.
You'll listen to me and Konnan talk about this all the time. The AEW matches always go 3 to 4 minutes longer than they need to.
Every single time.
Because they do a spectacular spot that looks like it could be the finish, and you get the pop, and they kick out and do 3 or 4 more of those. I'm like, bro, you could. It's not all you're doing is adding time here. It's like you had him right there because that was an unbelievable move that should beat the guy, And they constantly do that. And like you're right, they brought Adam Cole back. He should have done hot tag, boom, 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 because they still have more guys out there. They trip him, boom, and they beat him. But it's like they wouldn't have like 5 minutes more. So
or don't even bring them back. Have one of the Young Bucks lose in the middle of the ring. Then they can actually go backstage and be like, "What the fuck."
Yeah.
Like
Harry, did you notice?
You pinned a champion.
It's like you left me, like talking to Hangman. It's like, yo, you left me out here. I'm your partner. You left me for these fucking guys. Like,
yeah, they can do the argument. They could do the Gaga there.
No idea
but they didn't.
what Brody pinging Hangman does for the whole thing.
Right.
And then Dark Order's just
tried to help Brody.
It's the worst fucking game.
Okay, let me
get Harry's opinion. What did you notice any of that?
No, yeah, I absolutely noticed everything, and that was one of the storylines that I was talking about. FTR and Hangman, them leaving the Elite against the whole Dark Order. It was like, oh crap, that Hangman just alienated himself from the group. So it was like, okay, that's part one. Then he comes back and he starts helping the team, and it's like, oh, he almost gets the win, but no, he gets stopped. And then they had that little interaction between Hangman and Brody Lee, which they've been teasing a bit on being the Elite. And
I don't watch this.
Yeah, that's why I have no clue.
Yeah. So it was like, oh crap! So this is going to happen, and then there was a split second where you could see that Hangman was almost going to hit the lariat on Kenny Omega, and it was like, oh shit, is that going to be part of the split? And then they they pull Kenny Omega out of the ring, and then Hangman gets pinned. And it was like, okay, no, that's what happened. So I mean, it was just a lot of stuff happening, but I just thought it was very fluid. Like, let me go for it, Clay. Konnan.
No, go ahead.
No. I like as me being a AEW exclusive fan. I don't watch WWE or NXT anymore. Their shows. I got it. I understood what was happening, but I doubt that like casual viewers would understand the whole thing.
Harry, how did they advance?
There's a problem right there, bro. If you're gonna be running threads through All Elite, your show being the Elite, whatever the fuck it's called, why don't you put that on TV so people know what it is, or at least make some sort of fucking reference to it so we know what the fuck's going on? Number one. Number two, I think when you put on the show and you see 12 guys in the ring, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, visually it's different. So you're like, what the fuck's going on? I thought it was going to be a clusterfuck. I'm sure they thought it was going to be a clusterfuck, and they did a good job of making the match make sense and making it entertaining. It was a good match, you know? And but let me throw this again, and this is something, you know, me and Disco have been talking about for many weeks. Omega is just another guy. He gets lost in the fucking noise. Okay. Here's another thing I didn't understand. If you get hurt, if I was in the Filthy Animals and me, Disco, Ray, and Hoovy are on the same team, and I got hurt, I go to the back. Everybody else keeps wrestling. Disco ain't coming to the back with me. Ray ain't coming to the back. Nobody's coming to the back with me. When did this new thing happen where you go to the back with the people? You have medical personnel there. Okay, so that was very weird to me. It's almost like a football player getting hurt, and then his best friend on the team goes back with him on that fucking cart that they put you on.
The quarterback,
right?
No, the quarterback and the wide receiver.
If
the running back got hurt, the quarterback and the wide receiver went with him to the back, and everything.
Ezekiel Elliott gets hurt, and Dak Prescott and Mari Cooper's like, "Hey, we gotta leave too."
Right. So I thought that was fucking weird as shit, right? And it was stupid. And here's another thing. I think that they were planting the seeds. This is what I think is happening. And you tell me if I'm right, Harry, because you follow it closer than they are.
Bro.
I think they're planting the seeds for Fuck the World or whatever the fuck they're called. Cody and Arn and the other guy, Paige, to be the Four Horsemen. I think that's what they're doing. Here's another thing I thought was stupid. We talk about this every fucking week. The heels have to get heat. Bro, you just beat 5 guys, 6 guys just beat 3 guys, and they walked out of the ring. Why didn't you just fuck them up and leave them laying? Why aren't you getting extra heat? Right. They beat them and left the ring. There was, you know what I'm saying? Those things drive me crazy.
They're allergic to heat on this show, man.
They did a little this week, though, finally. Even after they kept burying the guys, they finally got some heat back, sort of.
No, I was surprised
they did not get any heat in that match, Disco. They beat him, and then they just left.
Right.
If it's 6-on-3 and your heels, you know, it's almost like that time I was telling you, Seth Rollins, when he took Rey Mysterio's eye out, supposedly, and then he's throwing up. You look like a bitch. I would have just stood over him and go, good motherfucker, I'm going to take the other eye out. You know?
Stomped on the eye.
If you're booking heat, the heels, you just had a 12-minute match with the guys. You've got them outnumbered at the end of the match. Just beat them down. It's what bad guys would do, you know? It's like
there's 3 guys in the back. Right.
Exactly. It's like beat them down.
Exactly.
I mean, we would probably just do that anyway. Like, if they didn't even book that for us, we had that spot that we would just, after the match, we would just start kicking the guys anyway, right? You know?
And they don't even do it. Yeah, it doesn't occur to them. They don't write it in when they're thinking about it. It's like, what the fuck's going on over there? Then after that was...
okay.
Go ahead. What? Do we think what?
No, I said, do you guys think that, like, they overthink, like, making guys look too weak sometimes? Because it's like, I don't know. That wouldn't have hurt the Elite if they got beat up, like how you guys said. Like, they were outnumbered, and like, I don't know. It's just like,
here, let me tell you exactly the problem. You got a guy writing the show. It's never written television before, and doesn't understand the concept. You need heat on your heels. They just do not write it into the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's very rare occasions where the heels get any heat. Like, there's a lot of spots where they could, and you figure they should, and it's just like the heels just do not get any momentum or any heat. Because the guy, Tony Khan, just never really wrote You know,
And
it's
you
just like
guys
he's not
that are,
experienced.
and you guys that are Patreon members, you know, every week we talk about the same thing. And the thing is, they're not booking heat, and then you got guys that are too unselfish, and you need to be professionally selfish and get yourself over. They're too busy we got to make everybody look good. We got to, gotta get over with our fucking fan base because they love all the indie workers, even though they suck, but they gave them a chance, and they love all the women. It's like, they're trying to get over with their fans. Like, remember when Tony Khan said, which I thought was hilarious, when he was like, "Yeah, Linda Hogan cannot be in fucking," and all the fans were like, "Yippee!" You're getting over with your nerd fans, but
you too, Hulk, you can't come.
Yeah, right,
Dude, give me a
right. I think right, but it gets over with their fans. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so, their fans want everybody. They don't want anybody to look like jobbers or enhancement talent, so they got to go long.
Yeah.
So next is the Moxley interview. What did you guys see? I want to go last on this.
So I thought it was good, but it could have been better if it was a little shorter. I think he went a little bit too long.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the content.
Okay. What about you, Tony?
I thought it was a good promo because it didn't sound corny. It sounded believable.
Okay. What about anybody else?
I like the premise of the promo. Like, I like him speaking about Darby Allin. Like, I kind of like you, but I'm going to still fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Like, you're coming for my stuff.
Well, let me tell you why I didn't like it. Let me tell you why I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Okay. I know he's got a match tonight against Darby Allin, and he's talking about things he didn't want to do, the combat zone. But bro, MJF last week cut the promo of the year on you.
Yeah, and
on the show last week, and you didn't even bring the guy up.
Even address him. Yeah.
The whole thing should have been. His promo should have been responding to MJF.
It's like I'm a run
and kind of flippantly look at him. By the way, I got a match against Darby Allin tonight and stuff. But like, I just the fact he didn't even bring up MJF's name. I'm like, bro, that's what.
Well, he might bring it up next week since MJF got involved.
I just don't like it.
Today's worried about Darby Allin, and so
I'm just saying. Him and MJF, everybody knows that Darby Allin is not going to beat him. So,
and now I did like the fact at the end when he was hugging Darby Allin.
Well, let's not get to that.
They might be a good little team. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I look at it as 3 years ago when Canelo fought Chavez. If Canelo was talking about Triple G before fighting Chavez, it's like, no, you got to take care of business first, and then you talk about what's coming up next. I was okay with that.
I think next week Moxley's gonna say, "All right, bitch, I took care of Darby, and you got in my match. Now you and me, let's go." And then it's gonna start going.
Right. Okay. Here's another one. So we have Santana and Ortiz against Best Friends.
I hate it, dude.
Bro, like every week we talk about how the Inner Circle is just like booked as like the worst faction in wrestling. They never win. They never get any heat. They never did like. Bro, it's like Santana and Ortiz were brought in as a big deal. And these guys are pretty good workers, and they got a good gimmick and a good look, right? There is no way if Best Friends if Best Friends are going to beat them, it should be a fluke quicker, not 14 minutes in a match, and then basically, like after 14 minutes, they were the better team than you. And it's like, like I said, this is one of those things. If you're booking this match and the heat they booked afterwards where they beat their mom's car up, whatever that was.
Trent's mom's
just do this in like do this in like 4 or 5 minutes, because the thing is, like, you're pissed that you lost, and it's like if you're pissed that you lost, you should be pissed you lost quick. It's like not pissed if you're pissed you lost like in 14 minutes. Like those guys are just better than you. It's like I don't know.
Communication between.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. It's just like I just don't like the way the way they tell these stories to me are just like. But brother, best friend. There's no way that Chuck Taylor and those Best Friends guys. Yeah, they're booking them way better than they should.
I was going to say that. Yeah,
I think Chuck Taylor's fits.
I never really thought much of them, and I to me, I thought if you asked me to look at the two teams, I would say LAX or Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz are the bigger stars, because Chuck and Trent just don't do anything for me. So to me, the result was surprising, because I was like, dude, obviously LAX is the better team, has better potential and all that, but I was really surprised by that they lost.
Right. What do you guys think?
I mean, the match.
Konnan, I gotta ask you. Since Eddie Kingston's back, the last thing I watched before LAX to AEW, before they became free agents, it was your angle, you versus King. Like when you were battling territories, the OGs versus LAX. Would you like it if Eddie was to come in somehow and to just take them away from Jericho?
Oh yeah, they'd have better chemistry. But here's the thing, bro. I think that if you're gonna, first of all, here was another match that we talk about way too long. You could have gotten the same thing accomplished in less time. Here's another thing. Really, dude? Why are two adults driving their mom's minivan? I don't understand that.
It's like it's bad comedy.
It's like
Bad comedy.
I don't understand.
It's like how you go ahead.
Yeah, bro, and then you're fucking putting a sledgehammer to the van. Tony's going, "Oh my God, that's Trent's mom's van." Who gives a shit, bro? Like,
Trent
act like
said, do anything to me, but don't touch my mom's van.
right? Yeah. He said,
Right.
and you're gonna have to apologize to her on speakerphone. I was like, bro, that's ridiculous. That's stupid.
That's indie style stuff. That's indie and indie angle. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that on national TV. It's silly. It's too silly. If like, bro, if you're changing the channel and it's wrestling. And like you're seeing, and then you're seeing these guys cutting that promo. He's talking about my mom. I promised her that I'd bring the car back. It's like you go, what is this? You know, it's like, bro, they need to have a more serious tone with these characters. It's too silly.
And the other thing is that, and I'm not hating. I'm just stating. You know, the best friends, they kind of look. They kind of look and wrestle like mid-carders. They don't look like stars. There was no emotion. There was no drama for me in this match. You know what I kept thinking during the whole match? Please don't beat LAX again. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I was thinking, yeah.
Hey,
Again, all the heat on Trent. I saw it coming.
Hey, what do you think?
I thought the match was BS. Like you guys said, way too long. They could have done the same thing in 7 minutes. But I did like the LAX guys, Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, when they were backstage, even though you guys say it's kind of crappy that they did all the stuff on the van, I think the way they did it, it looked great. And Santana delivering the promo, he seemed pissed off at the situation. He looked frustrated, and I think he delivered the point. Trent and Chucky, they completely sucked at delivering their point. So I really hope that the next match these two teams have, it's going to be Proud and Powerful, just kicking ass and plowing through these guys.
Let me tell you why.
Even though you know he was mad and they fucking looked physical, it was still this guy's mom's van, and that in itself is stupid. You know.
Let me tell you this too. Let me tell you this. There's a problem. Go ahead.
Why don't you beat up the two guys you're mad at, stuff them in the fucking van, and then?
Let me tell you this. This is the problem with those guys specifically, right? So you saw Santana Ortiz, like you said, they cut a good fiery promo. They beat the guy, and you could tell he's kind of pissed. Maybe they're doing another job. You know, it's like is there some frustration? Bro, it's like all we hear about is on that show, AEW is like, hey, you know, we don't script promos. Bro, if the best friends, if that's your promo that you're coming up with for your characters, it's like, dude, that's not,
Dinks.
you know, come on. It's like, you guys shouldn't be beating anybody, you know, if that's the right, you know, so.
That seems to be the promo that Trent always cuts. It's just some ridiculous, just like, who speaks like that?
Yeah. It's
like, don't touch my mom's van. Now we're going to feud.
Steven, did you watch that match?
Yeah, I was just going to say one thing about the Inner Circle. You know, when they first came together, they were kicking ass. They were disrupting matches and beating people in the stands and everything. And it seems like they've just become a comedy act as of late. You know, a few little jokes get over, and then they just want to keep progressing to more and more comedy. And it's like you guys were supposed to be badasses, and now you're losing every match. You know.
Let me give you a perfect example. What was it, 2 months ago, I think, maybe? Bro, you remember that night that JR tweeted? I tweeted about. I go that the heels have no heat, and JR tweeted at me and said, yeah. And bro, I'm absolutely right. Like since that time, like, you know, bro, your big guys keep getting beat. Inner Circle since that tweet has gotten orange juice dumped on them. They've lost every single match. Sammy got suspended. I mean, bro, nothing. It's like, you know, I'm like saying,
bro, the thing today when they had the 6-on-3 and they didn't take advantage of it.
Didn't take advantage of that, you know. So
last week again, Moxley put Brian Cage in some armbar again, bro. There's no universe where he should be able to put any hold on fucking Brian Cage, you know, and keep him there for any long amount of time. The guy looks like superhuman, you know.
Okay,
so I have a feeling that the Inner Circle, they're the group that is suffering the most with these closed door shows, because when they had the fans in the arenas the first 4 or 5 months of AEW, they were doing their thing and they were doing it better than they are right now. And right now it seems like they're relying at the video that they did, like TikTok videos, and then the Brady Bunch kind
Brady
of videos,
Bunch,
and all that
right.
kind of stuff. So I feel that they're the ones suffering the most.
Well, they're not the only one, because
in this
Matt Hardy suffers from not having fans, Orange Cassidy suffers from not having fans. There's a couple that are suffering from it.
Okay, so then the next thing was the MJF thing in the back, bro. He just even if it's kind of like a hokey, corny thing, he makes it look very professional with his presence. He just nails everything he does. He knows
how to belittle people.
It's just
he's just better
very
than anyone I've seen in them.
He's just a very strong presence when he's out there.
Like,
he's just What did you guys think of that? Anybody? Harry, what did you think? When MJF is in the they do the thing in the back where he's
the campaign headquarters.
MJF skit, yeah.
I mean, I thought it was what it was. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it sucked, but it was just another segment in the show. I think the guy's great talking with his promos, and I mean, whatever. It was just a way to have him on the show before the eventual feud against Moxley starts potentially next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else comment on this?
When he told the girl that she better start smiling before she starts speaking, that popped me. It did. MJF just has a way of just fucking.
Yeah, he's good.
Nobody else can.
So the next thing was the Matt Hardy in ring. First of all, I gotta ask this: if Matt Hardy's just be himself, why the fuck does this guy have a red streak in his hair?
Yeah.
Well, this is a grown man. He's like our age. It's like, why is this guy like, bro? I'll tell you what. You know what's funny? It's like the 21-year-old strippers at our club do their hair like that. You know, they have these weird color streaks through it. Like, you know, I don't get that. So what did you do? Okay, so let's talk the whole segment. Sammy comes out, bro. Sammy Guevara is one of my favorite characters on the show. He cannot brawl. Like those were, I felt
that
bad.
chair shot
was
brutal.
Well, not even that. When he's trying to punch him, I was like, dude. I was like,
that's where we talk about the difference in physicality between NXT and
AEW. Were you bringing up this when you saw this?
Yeah. Yes.
And I was like, God,
that's
man,
one of the things.
I will say this. Matt Hardy got a nice crimson mask. That was nice.
You know how he got it?
I think a table hit him or something.
It was a kick.
No,
It
No,
was a kick.
No,
Sammy threw a chair.
No. I watched this a couple times. I rewound and tried to figure it out. It doesn't look like he's got a blade in his hand, right? When he goes for the thing and he shoves him into the post, bro, I think he hardweighted himself on the post.
It was the post. I thought
100%. He said that, but here's the thing: I couldn't tell if he had a blade because his hands did not look like he had a blade. Okay,
right.
But when he did it, when he hit the thing, he went like this.
Right.
And maybe he was like cut, but when he was busted open, Sammy got on him. This is why I'm thinking why maybe he did blade, because Sammy got on him and started driving like doing like thing like he's elbowed in his head. Okay.
Oh, okay.
If you watch it back, you can see this, and you'll briefly see. You can see he's already bleeding when he's doing this. Okay, and maybe he did bust him open and like did the shots and stuff, but then he threw the chair, and I think the chair might have hit him too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he was bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, because like the chair folded, and like I think one of the legs probably like hit him right there.
The funniest thing is Rebby Hardy after this segment tweeted. Okay, did you see this tweet, Konnan?
No.
She tweets, "Fucking dumbass."
She's gonna be backstage next week.
Oh god! But yeah, that segment, bro. Sammy doesn't. I mean, like I said, these guys. When you're put in a spot, like Konnan knows this because he's a booker. Okay, and this is why you have to look like you know how to fight, because there's going to be a spot on the show sometimes where you're going to have to brawl with a guy. And if you don't look like you know how to brawl, you don't look like you know how to throw punches for real. It's just, bro. It hurts your character, you know. And like Sammy does not know how to throw good punches or brawl, and it did not. It was good that he got color on Matt Hardy, but that was not a good segment for him, you know, because he didn't look tough at all, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys think? Anybody?
Well, that's one thing I was talking about with one of my friends recently. That like I feel the AEW guys don't really have a system, so they kind of like not everyone's trained the same. You get me? Like not everyone can strike the same. Not everyone And then
No,
like
I just
it
think
shows.
that in that promotion it isn't a requirement to look snug. It isn't a requirement for everything, like it probably is in NXT,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more free for
More than-
all, I guess. Like you can do kind of whatever
Or like an
your
indie
style
style,
is.
it kind of looks like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like that's what I was telling my friend, that like with NXT, at least they would, like, before all this, they had live events so they could polish up their matches, like do some tweaks, and by the time they reach TV, it's a good match compared to AEW, who
All
they only
AEW has is the dark show.